plenty of grip if you want to go offline and get more grip, yeah.
I know Ash has had a few offs today. How's he feeling?
He's had a few big crashes this weekend. He's knocked his confidence a bit, but he's normally fairly good in the wet, so hopefully he'll go well and pick up a few points.
How are you feeling, young man?
Good.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Feeling okay, yeah? Good.
That's tough, isn't it? You've been down a couple of times and then it goes and rains on you in the afternoon. But brave young lad, he's ready to go at the start of this race. Green flag, and we're racing in the Jnr SM140 class. Who's going to get that whole shot into turn one? Tentative through turn one. Almost got to be careful now of puddles on the circuit as well. On the brakes, it's bike 25, which is Bailey Harker. He's made a great start. Of course, it's easier when you're at start and up the front, because you don't get the spray on your visor. And of course, the spray on your visor just makes the rain and the conditions look worse than they are. Big field coming through. Everybody's made it through to the mountain section. Sensible start to the race here. We've got two away at the front. It's Bailey Harker, and I think that might be bike 7. Chase Collymore in second. And then we've got a 5-way dice for what I think is third place. On the brakes. Easy does it. Change for position. We'll just let this field sort themselves out. Now the bigger riders here are probably going to have an advantage, I imagine, being able to move their weight around on the bike. Give the rear tyre better purchase and traction. Change for third place there. So into hairpin 3 of the infield. And coming through to finish lap 1, I think we're going to find that it's Bailey Harker leading race 1. Indeed it is. It's Ash Barnes that has come through to second place, and he's got quite a gap to Chase Collymore in third, 7 seconds off the lead. Ryan Frost, Kiera Williamson, William Quayle, Jaden Willits, Maddie Williams, Jack Bell and Jack Worth make up the top 10.
That's Ilian Quayle.
You know, I was wondering, I thought it might be a typo.
No, that's Ilian Quayle. That is the son of the quite frankly legendary Milky Quayle, the Isle of Man TT rider. Rich and Ilian and the family come over and race with us. They raced with us a bit over the winter, and they wanted to continue racing with us over the summer. They race on the Isle of Man as well, at the Derby track, so it's fantastic to have Ilian and the family over. It's great to see. It's great to see people like Milky in the paddock. Of course, he's got a huge amount of experience, and all the guys, I know, I look up to him, and a lot of the senior riders look up to him as a TT racer and a bit of a legend, so it's great to see him.
Through to finish another lap. I think Bailey Harker's extended his lead. It was 2 seconds over Ash Barnes at the end of lap 1.
Yeah, Ash had a really big off in practice this morning. So as his dad said, it's not just confidence a little bit, but he is pressing on. Yeah.
So Bailey Harker coming through now. What's that gap? It was 2 seconds on the last lap. Is he going away? He's going away from Ash Barnes, who's now 2.9 seconds. But as you say, you know, you've had a big drop on the morning. The last thing I think you really want is heavy rain like this. But then again, his dad said he enjoys the rain, so maybe this is just what he needs.
Yeah, some people enjoy the rain. I know that in fact a few of the lads I race with actually prefer riding the wet, as silly as it sounds. But it's worth noting that this is the Jnr Supermoto 140, so all of these bikes will be the same size engines and the same weight as they use in the senior classes. But the power to weight ratio, obviously because you've got kids who are half or less the weight of the senior riders. And we've got Chase Collymore now coming through the S. He's trying to get that bike set up on the slam. Trying to get the bike set up to go through the hairpins. And we've got Kira Williamson and Jaden Willits having a good battle now for 5th and 6th. Showing a good bit of respect there, making sure that each other got enough space. See Jaden trying to get his weight off the bike a little bit there, trying to keep the bike up as upright as much as possible, keep the tyre in contact with the track. And they're coming through the bus stop now. Trying to keep on that bit of white tarmac on the right hand side. Hopefully that'll fill up with a nice big puddle later on. You see them splashing through that, making a few waves. Now they come banking over to the left and going up over the mountain. So trying to settle the bike as it come across the top to get the power on as early as it can to get down the straight. And they're side to side coming down the straight, coming to the S's. Who's going to brake first? And it's Kira Williamson who goes through into the S's. Is Jaden going to look around the inside? No, he's just biding his time.
I've got to say, Matt, I've just stuck my head out the door. It is proper filthy, and I don't think the cameras are quite catching just how wet it is.
It is absolutely slinging it down now. But you can see the rain coming off the back off the rear tyres now.
So bike 114, Jnr Williamson. Tentatively out of hairpin number 4 of the infield, and on and through to another lap.
Still pushing on, coming like that. They're not hanging about. They're still wide open on the throttle, going into the bus stop. Jade is taking a nice wide line coming around past the paddock. Oh, Kira's run wide there. Let Jaden through.
So Jaden moving up to 4th place. And we've got somebody with a technical issue.
Got no fuel, Dad. Got no fuel.
So I was going to say, somebody's going to get a rocket when they get back to the paddock if it's lack of fuel.
Is that day one in the fault finding diagnostics?
It seems so obvious now, but you've got to make sure you've got plenty of fuel in it. So bike 114.
We have a comment from Wendy. Wipe the cameras. Can't see anything.
They're doing their very best, Wendy. Yeah. Honestly, they are definitely earning their corn out in the field. And hats off to Alpha Live for providing the video services for the event. Chapeau.
Is Jaden going to look on the inside? Yeah. Ooh. Kira hold the inside line for this left-hander. Jaden's going to take a nice wide line. Could try and get the power on as early as he can.
I'm guessing this is where under braking, engine braking is more important than the actual front brake itself.
Yeah, you'll end up, if you hang on the brakes too much, you'll end up tucking the front. Looks like Ryan Frost has got a bit of an issue. He's usually up with the front runners, but it looks like the bike's not playing ball in the wet today. No, he's definitely cruising there. So Ryan was out on the Overhaler on the Mini GPs, but he also runs in the stock 140s. This is the first season. Yeah, so the Jnr SM140s. This is his first season on this on the pit bike, and I saw him on a dry day at fullback. And some of the lads on the Jnr F150s were struggling to keep up with him down the straight, so it's a little rocket ship.
Okay. It's still Bailey Harker leading on bike 25, 4 seconds clear of Ash Barnes. And this pair have really pushed on. They're 20 seconds clear of Chase Collymore. Kiera Williamson and Jaden Willits is still the main battle on the track in the top 10.
Jaden got back out in front of Kiera now.
So 3 minutes, or 3 laps from the finish, I think. Perhaps 2.
You can see it is really wet out there now.
Well, this track's going to stay like this for the rest of the afternoon, it would appear. So if anybody's in any doubt about changing the setup, will you adjust the suspension, the rebound and that sort of thing?
Yeah, some of them will. Some will soften it up. I personally don't because I'm lazy. But a lot
You've
of
got
lads,
a winning setup and you're not going to change it no matter what the conditions
I've never
are.
won a race in my life. I'm a midfield runner at the best of times. But yeah, so some of the lads will tweak the suspension and soften it up and adjust the tyre pressures. But vast majority of them will just stick the wets on and hope for the best and just say get off the bike. There's Ash saying he's had those offered on today. He really is doing well.
Look at that rain. Look at those puddles.
Kira's got back in front of Jaden now. She's not giving up on that on that third place. There's Bailey Hacker out in that's in first place, taking some really nice lines. You can see him getting his weight off the bike there.
I was going to say he's styling.
Yeah,
very
definitely
stylish.
styling now. Yeah. Yeah, he's trying to get the weight, as much weight as even knee down. Fantastic. That's really, really good technique. He's trying to get as much weight off the bike as possible there.
He seems perhaps most at home in these conditions by the looks of it at the moment.
He looks really confident. Oh no!
Now who's going to tell me?
Hacker.
Who's going to tell me that's my fault for saying he was stylish? I'm being pointed at. It is my fault indeed. So, unfortunately for Bailey Harker, I bet he'll get back up and back on.
And Ash Barnes now out in the front. Hopefully, Ash is a good few seconds out in front of second and third place now. So all he needs to do is just go nice and gentle and carry it home. Hopefully, his dad will be on the side of the track, just signalling to him
To calm it down, maybe.
to calm it down and just take these next couple of laps.
It's a good confidence builder if you've been down the road and now you're going to get back up on your bike and you're going to win a race on the afternoon in pretty treacherous conditions, obviously.
Yeah. He's a really, really talented little lad. He had a fantastic weekend at GYG. He was really pushing on, and he's a real talent. His dad races as well. I think his dad races in the Stock 140, so you'll see his dad out later on.
So we're just interested now who's going to come through in second place. Will it be Chase Collymore on bike 7? As Bailey Harker has been down the road. Slow speed. I'm definitely sure he's got back on his bike. We're just on the last lap now.
Yeah, you can see Ash just being really careful as he's coming through his back markers.
It'd be a shame to drop it now just because he's had to change lines to avoid a back marker. Into the mountain section. He can ease off here and let these two take their time going up the hill. Get them on the back straight. He's got a big gap over second place. Not even in the shot from the mountain. On the back straight, he's cleared one back marker. He's about to clear the second as they come back into the stadium section. Let's call it a stadium.
I like the idea of that.
Yeah, we'll call it the stadium section. There are people on the banks.
There is a stand.
There is a stand. We're calling it the stadium section.
Well, this isn't football. He's taking it nice and easy around that right-hander now. We're coming into that chicane, trying to keep off the curbs, not jumping them.
Just needs to clear Jack Bell if he needs to.
Yeah, he's got to go around this right-hander at the bottom. What's the corner called? Right?
South Bank Bend.
South Bank Bend. He's got to go round South Bank Bend, come with these 2 hairpins, and I'm sure his dad will absolutely be chuffed to bits. Really mature ride from Ash. Really, really good.
So into the last proper corner. Getting back on the gas gently as he does it, and Ash Barnes wins race 1 of the Jnr SM140 class. We're looking for Bailey Harker.
He is absolutely chuffed to bits with that. Fantastic ride, Ash. Fantastic. Well done, mate.
We've had a little glitch on the timing. I think we're looking for Bailey Harker in second place. Everybody moving away from the infield to get under shelter because it is raining here. I don't think the cameras do the rain justice. I think we're settled in now for a wet afternoon, but the racing's still hot, so to speak. Green flag and we're racing, and someone struggled to get off the front row of the grid, and it's managed to block somebody in behind as well. I suspect they'll allow this race to continue though. So charging down to turn 2, it's bike 25 that is currently leading. That's a familiar face, it's Bailey Harker. I think Bailey went down in the first race, but he's got back up and he's got out front, which is the best place to be in these conditions. Onto the back straight over the mountain section. And it looks as though we have a 3-way dice for the lead as they come back towards the S's, and then the rest of the field sorting themselves out. And it is indeed Bailey Harker on bike 25 in his distinctive yellow helmet, ahead of bike number 8, which is Rossi Brown in a nice, everybody's wearing fluorescent. It must be dark out there now. Be seen, see and be seen.
See if Ash can pick his way through and get another win like the first race, or is he going to sit back and watch the two battle it out? Hopefully.
Well, it's looking like a 3-way dice for the win here with, I think that's Matthew Rutter in 3rd place as they come tipping into the infield. Still very gently as they do it. Hanging off the side of the bike to keep it stood up to get the traction off the corner. Sweeping through start finish, and it is indeed Bailey Harker leading from number 8, Rossi Brown. It's Ash Barnes that's come through into 3rd place. Matthew Rutter further back.
Is Ash going to have a look down the inside, coming down the bottom of the hill? Yep. That's a good pass, that is plenty of space.
Oh, did he get it done? I think he's got through.
Got through
Into the mountain section, and it looks as though the rain's picking up again. Somebody's had a problem at the top of the back straight. Sweeping back down and into the infield. So it's a 3-way dice between Bailey Harker, Rossi Brown and Ash Barnes.
I think the front two have now managed to gap Rossi a little bit. Ash running wide on left-hander.
And it looks as though Ash Barnes is looking for a win here. Closing quickly. It's unfortunate for Bailey Harker that he's first into these corners every lap. So he's the canary in the coal mine. But
yeah, the first race Bailey led from start to finish, and he had a crash on the last lap, didn't he? Let Ash through.
Well, he might even be well advised to let Ash Barnes take the lead and follow him and learn his lines and his braking.
I don't think that's going to happen.
It's not his style.
No, I don't think they'll be letting anyone else through.
Rossi Brown dropping back to 3 seconds down on this leading pair, and it definitely has a look of a dice between these two for the lead for now at least.
Rossi's done really well. Again, this is another first season on a Supermoto. He raced last year on the Ovale. He's out in the Ovale again this season, but this is his first season on the Junior Supermoto 140, and he seems to have picked it up really well. It's completely different style of ride into the Ovale.
And look at the gap that they've put into 4th place and the rest of the field. Matthew Rutter is 13.5 seconds behind the battle for the lead.
I think Ash is just sitting back now.
Yeah, it's one of these things. Do you show your hand, or do you try and get the lead when it's on?
I think in these conditions, you just kind of sit back and not hope the guy in front of you falls off, but just hope for a slight mistake or late turning in and try and get past if they leave the door open.
Right, so our race leader, we've now got our full complement of cameras back on. And he's coming through to start the next lap. 3 laps in the books. His lead is just 0.6 of a second from Ash Barnes, who's come through from dropping back off the start and is looking for the lead as they go down to turn 2. He's gone on a very narrow line down the inside. I'm wondering whether or not there's more grip down the inside than on the racing line in these conditions.
I think you're just showing a wheel there. I think you're just letting him know he's there.
And it looks as though Rossi Brown is beginning to settle into his third place, a comfortable third place. 14 seconds clear now of Maddie Williams ahead. Side by side into the S's. Dodge the puddles as best you can.
So much standing water coming to that corner there.
Now I wonder if Bailey Harker's still got in the back of his mind that he dropped it in the first race.
Yeah, possibly. I think so. Ash just showed his wheel coming down to the bottom of the hill there, and I think Bailey's either going to start pushing on now, or just be wary that Ash is going to come through at some point.
So we're coming through to finish lap number 4.
It's a nice line from Ash coming out that left-hander, running nice and wide, getting the power on, trying to straight out that chicane as much as possible, get a decent exit down the hill. I think he's going to look down the inside on this one. Yeah, he's got a good run down the hill there. Show him the wheel again. Is he through?
Very narrow.
Yeah, he's through. Well done.
Oh, he's running wide though. But they've made it past the track out together. So Ash Barnes moves to the head of the field. Does Bailey Harker have an immediate response, or is he going to follow for a while and see how this one pans out? They're going for it. I think Ash Barnes is trying to gap him straight away.
If you've got any well wishes, obviously leave a comment on Facebook and we'll put it up.
Now, obviously, I was going to say, obviously, with bikes and the riders, there's going to be areas of the track where you're stronger than.
Yeah, I was just saying, I think Ash is definitely quicker down this bottom section. You can see Bailey's taking the outside line, a slightly wider line and quicker line going through the right-hander. He's going to try and keep it right on the exit here. Oh no.
Ash very narrow into that one. But still, he's picked it up. He's got the drive out the corner. He's managed to keep the gap to Billy Harker.
There's a couple of lines you can take out that right-hand hairpin. You got to keep it right and try to cut nice and tight into the left hand and drive past them on the exit. I think that's what Bailey was trying to do there, but he just left it a little too late.
So we're still 3.5 laps from the finish of this one. This one is definitely not over here. Bailey Harker on the wheel of Ash Barnes over the mountaintop, down on the back straight. We've got a change for position behind. I think Kiera Williamson has moved ahead of Maddie Williams and into 4th place on bike 114. Rossi Brown now comfortably in 3rd place and looks as though he's going to run that to the finish. He's got the measure of the people behind him. The race for the lead still very much on, Matt.
Yeah, I think Bailey just keeping an eye on him now. He's taking some nice wide lines and trying to get a decent exit. I think he's going to have a go at him. Down this, he's going to try and get a decent line through his right hand on South Bank Bend. No, he's lost some drive.
Poor run through the bus stop there.
He's lost some drive out there, but
Oh, hang on.
He is considerably quicker through the South Bank Bend.
He's definitely committed. He closes in round South Bank Bend. And Ash Barnes once again narrowing to the last hairpin.
Riding a bit defensive there. Yeah, he's looking over his shoulder. He knows he's there.
He's certainly getting good drive out of the hairpins, is Ash Barnes.
I don't think Bailey's going to catch him on this lap. I think Bailey's going to try and close that gap onto the end of the next lap and try and get him into the hairpin after the South Bank Bend.
We've got dices on right through the field, as you would imagine. This is a good 20-25 seconds behind the race leaders. In fact, I think this is probably more like half a minute. 0-4 is Zach Shelton. Pushing on, finding his limit. And ahead of him, I suspect that is Jaden Willits.
Jaden had a good race last race. It seems he may have a problem.
And I'm guessing that might be Joe Duggan ahead of them as well, along with Jack Bell in 8th place. Jack Worth is 7th. Ben Watson on bike 120 is 6th.
Joe came down and did a few weekends with us on the high bikes over the winter, and he's kind of got the bug from it. So this is a second race weekend up at GYG with his dad Paul.
Here we go.
See, round the
Billy
outside.
Harker, very strong
Look
down in
at
South
that.
Bank Bend. That's committed. Is he going to go the
He's
wrong
going to
long
cut back
way
in now
around?
to the right. He's going to try and get him on the left-hand side, take a tighter line. Oh no, gone too wide there.
This race is definitely not finished. This could go down the last couple of corners, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ash Barnes seems to have the first 3/4 of the lap an advantage over Bailey Harker. But then right where you'd want it, right in the last quarter of the lap, Bailey Harker, especially around South Bank Bend, seems to be really on it. We're into back markers as well.
I think if Bailey gets the drive out that chicane in South Bank, I think he's going to have him.
So 2 laps, a lap and a half, lap and 3/4 from the finish.
Back markers now coming into play.
Yeah, courteous riding though, managed to get out the way. I don't think Bailey Harker's lost any ground on Ash Barnes there because of the back marker. Perhaps a bike length or 2, maybe more. But that should be enough for Bailey to close in round South Bank Bend again, because he just seems to be mega around there.
Yeah.
Everybody else is doing their very best and getting the best out of their machinery.
There's Joe Dugan and Jack Shelton. Zach Shelton.
Now we're back with our leaders. A run through the infield has brought Bailey Harker into 3 kart lengths, 3 bike lengths.
So much quicker through that.
Round the outside. You know, maybe there's a bit more grip, you know, a bike width or 2.
Yeah. But I think Ash knows he's quick around there. Oh,
well, he's trying a different approach. Nearly had his front caught there on the back of Ash Barnes.
Yeah, I think Ash knows he's slightly quick around the South Bank Bend, and he's just trying to keep that nice tight line. Oh, that's it.
The checkered flag has caught us again. Bailey Harker did his best. I'm not sure that last lap board went out, and I wonder if that's what the arms outspread from Bailey Harker was there. Maybe he was thinking there was another lap to go.
Run out of laps.
Well, a cracking race nonetheless. Ash Barnes wins race 2 of the Jnr Supermoto 140 ahead of